Hey everyone, and welcome to Team Amazian's video game review session where we are going to be talking about South Park Stick of Truth.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We really like this game, and we want you to share your thoughts with us throughout and drop some comments. So we are going to be recapping our experience with South Park. And before we go any further, I am Kaori, and next to me, as always, is Campea.
Oh, god damn it. I jumped the gun on showing myself, you know. I usually don't like to flip it over here until you've introduced yourself.
You're like, me!
How about me? Hey guys, what's up?
So, warning, there are going to be tons of spoilers because we're going to talk about our experiences, obviously. Mm-hmm. So, if you haven't played the game yet, then you should just put this on pause, come back 3 days later, and then play it.
Yeah. Yes. But then join us because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, and then share your thoughts. So, all right. So, again, we're talking about South Park Stick of Truth, a little bit of stats on it. The publisher is Ubisoft, which is a pretty good darn publishing company. It was developed by Obsidian Entertainment as well as South Park Digital Studios. The writers, which is awesome, are the original writers Matt Stone and Trey Parker from the animated series. So that's why this game was so badass, as well as Eric, I can't pronounce his name, Fenstermaker.
That's an awesome last name.
That is an awesome last name, actually.
Kaori Fenstermaker.
I don't know you, but I have your last name now. It was on the platforms for, PC, PS3, and Xbox 360. I played mine on the PS3.
I played mine on the Xbox 360.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool, though, because you get the best of both worlds right here.
Yeah, I get different trophies, I guess. And you get different trophies, I suppose.
And we also know somebody who played it on the PC. So I think between the three of us, know kind of what the variations are between the systems.
Mm-hmm. I think they're almost the same, but...
Yeah,
but okay, so a couple other things. It was released on March 4th, so we're a little delayed here, but it just took us some time to finish it because we have other things going on. But, Arrow. We're still waiting to do that Firefly, all that stuff. Its genre is RPG, as you will see. If you like role-playing games, this is definitely the game for you, and if you like comedy, this is the game for you. And it's a single player game, which I actually prefer single player games. I'm not a huge multiplayer gamer. Mm-hmm. And again, there are going to be tons of spoilers.
All right, so let's get into the premise for the game. Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know about the game, The Stick of Truth is a role-playing game, as Kaori pointed out, and it's based on the famed cartoon South Park, which is currently in its 17th season. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You're the new kid in town, basically trying to make new friends and fill up your Facebook list, but making friends isn't so easy in Colorado South Park. Many friendships are earned, some much harder than others. No matter what you name yourself, though, you are known throughout the game as Douchebag. Once you meet Cartman and his gang, it starts a 3-day adventure. All the South Park favorites are in there as themselves as well. Kyle, Stan, Kenny, Butters, Jimmy, you name it. We get all the characters, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you get all those different cameos. So let's start off with positives and negatives. So let's start with the positives. The irony of South Park. That's the way the cartoon runs. It's just leads into the way the video game is ran. Just that sense of humor is there. Cartman's a wizard. Kyle's an elf. Jimmy's a bard. It's so cute that you're actually playing a role-playing game while they're role-playing in the game. It's just so clever and so ironic and so funny. The humor is just ridiculous. You have big boss battles. We're going to get into that, which is just hilarious. And we've also got zombies with German Nazi accents, anal probe aliens, just ridiculousness. And, of course, 8-Bit Canada. And even though you're playing a game in South Park, there's some real things there, like Taco Bell is, they're concealing the huge problem of the spaceship and saying, oh, there's nothing to see here, it's just a Taco Bell, but really it's worse. And I also thought that the length wasn't too long and it wasn't too short. I thought that the gameplay length was just perfect. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives, and we'll just kind of get into those, but those are the gists of mine. And
I completely agree with everything you said. I loved everything about this game. I'll start with a little anecdote. Do you guys remember, and Kaori, tell me if you remember this, when they held this contest, Matt and Trey decided, okay, if you guys figure out who all, I think, the hidden characters are in season 13, and you enter this contest, you actually get a chance to be animated into season 14, I think the first episode.
oh, I don't remember that.
And so I remember, because I am a loyal, very, very ridiculously loyal South Park fan up to the last episode. I remember this contest going on and thinking, how badass would it be if I won and I was animated and became a South Park character and got to say one line in this show because I love it so much. I, to this day, am very jealous of Matthew Klinner, who won that contest.
I thought you were about to say, and I won.
I wish. And the only reason I bring up this story is because up to this day, I've always wondered how it would feel to live within the South Park world. How would it feel to be a resident of South Park? And I have to say that this game brings you, I believe, the closest you can ever get to being a resident of South Park. And so that is number one reason why I think this game is amazing. Not to mention, you get to play alongside a lot of your favorite characters: Cartman, Kenny, Stan, Kyle, you name it. All of the main characters, but also all of the rest of the world is there. All of the outlier characters, people like and Mr. Slave, for example, people that and people, they make up some people in Canada, but there's a ton of characters and they bring them all into this world, which is another positive for me. And I think it's the perfect continuation to the trilogy that they had in season 17, the Black Friday trilogy. If you haven't seen this trilogy, watch it first before you start playing the game, because this trilogy leads perfectly into what the game sets up for you. And so having seen these episodes and then going into the gameplay, it's almost like you never stopped watching the three and you just get to play on, which is really cool. And then again, I was just taken aback by how awesome it looks. Mm-hmm. I mean, you truly feel like you're in an episode of South Park. Like if I walked in and you were playing, I could have sworn that you were just watching an episode of the show. So the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it sounds, everything about it, those are all my positives for this. Did I cover anything else? Was there anything else?
No, but I wanted to actually add one that I just thought of, because you brought up the good idea, the positive that, hey, it was the best way to, put yourself in South Park. And it made me think, what I loved about this game too is that they had a lot of allusions to Lord of the Rings, Skyrim, and Game of Thrones. And everyone loves those things, those three, the trifecta of the medieval looking crazy life. And South Park is like the fourth little minor.
Yeah, it fit perfectly in there.
Yeah.
You were on point when you said it's cool to be playing a game where the characters are role playing their characters.
Exactly.
Even though there's all this real life stuff happening in South Park, it's just like a creative explosion.
Yeah.
The way that they did this.
So clever.
So let's get into the negatives though, because for me there weren't that many, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
So I'm going to preface my negatives by saying this is all nitpicky, because I'm a casual gamer. So when I invest my time, and I actually played this game from start to finish and was yearning to play this game every day, that's how much that I like this game. So when I bring up any negatives, it's really just me nitpicking at certain things. So there were two areas that I got stuck in the game, and that was probably in part due to the fact that I am not as intuitive as the rest of you guys. Mm-hmm. For example, being in that cave where you had to have that and I love saying this, anal teleportation power, so that you could get over, I think it was in the sewer somewhere. And so you could use the anal probe to get over, or not the probe, but the teleportation to get over a certain part. And so at the time when I found that area, I couldn't figure it out. And I didn't know, how do I jump? How do I swim? I was just trying to figure out any which way that I could get over there. And it wasn't until I realized that there were these other abilities that you acquire throughout the game that it was something that I actually had to go back and do. And that, again, like I said, because I'm a casual gamer, maybe I'm just not intuitive like the rest of you guys, I couldn't figure that out. So there were two areas like that one, and I can't even think of what the other one was, where it took me a little bit to realize that I needed to go complete something and then come back to this part. So I would say that was one of my negatives. And then the other one for me, although the mana, although I found it useful in the actual gameplay, I never really used it in the battles. And maybe that's, again, because I just didn't know what to do with it. So for me, the mana seemed quite useless when I was fighting people. Again, just a nitpicky thing for me. Kaori, what did you think?
I'm a gamer, and I didn't really use the mana much myself either during the battle modes. I can tell you my tricks, but it's kind of cheap. I did a lot of magic. I always drank the coffee so I can have 2 turns.
Yes.
But and then I rotated my men if their energy was low, especially
Right.
Jimmy, because man, he kind of wasn't so good other than singing. It was like, oh look, it's like Guitar Hero again or something weird. But anyway, so my negatives is not much. It's also me being nitpicky because I really like this game. Saving sometimes can be a pest because sometimes you just need to leave the house, or you need to walk the dog, or you need to eat, or you're gonna starve to death. So for me, sometimes saving was just not always good, and you just had to just power off your game, which I didn't do, but I know that some people would have to do that.
Right.
I just press pause for the longest time and let the energy go. I know that's terrible. And I didn't like the fact that in the beginning, when you're choosing and you're creating your character, you don't have the option to make a girl. And I guess that makes sense going into the game, because later on you're going to have to be a kid trying to infiltrate a girls' club and dress like a girl eventually. So that's probably why they did that. But I like the option of always being the chick in the game. Like every time I play a game and there's that option, I do it. And I think it's important.
I completely agree.
So
I like both of those things, especially the fact that you can make a girl.
yeah.
But then, South Park, Wendy looks like a boy. Like, I think all the girls look like boys anyways.
They look the same.
But I actually made my character, and I wish I could have gotten a screenshot of it, but I actually started with my character looking like John.
Yeah.
Because he seems to me like the easiest face to make as a character.
Because his face is round.
It's just like, he's just so like
Yeah.
a character. Like they had his hair, they had his like blue sweater.
They did.
We just made it look like him. But I towards the end, I mean, what did your character look like towards the end of
My
it, though?
character looked like a girl.
Was it
towards
completely
the end.
different
It
from
was-
what you started with?
It was completely different.
Yeah.
She had a pink condom hat, all kinds of random stuff going on. But yeah, those were the negatives. Any more negatives?
No. Like I said, all nitpicky stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are things obviously that you can just totally just not worry about in the gameplay. But let's talk about the difficulty. For me, I thought it was very easy to play. It's very smooth. It's very simple. The turn-based battle setting is really good. It gives you time for you just to think about what you want to do next, even though you get used to it. It's good. And I just thought it was very innovative how they did it, how they had your items, but you only could do it the first time, and then you could go again with, your magic, your mana, whatever you want to choose. It's easy to play, and then you have like on one side, I don't know how your controller works, the Xbox, but you had to press one side to control all your mana, and then the other side was your magic, like the dwarf, shrinking into a dwarf, the anal probe, the buddy system. That was the only one that kind of threw me off, was the buddy system, because you sometimes didn't know which buddy to use for what area.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think I had to look it up once or twice.
Yeah, that was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
But I think the game is pretty easy to play, and I think it should be, because it's a very humorous game, and you want people to get through it.
Yeah. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be about the difficulty of the pressing this and making sure you do, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
casual gamer again. I mean, it shouldn't be about how hard it is to execute a move, like Kaori was saying. I think for me, the only thing in terms of the difficulty was that it was hard for me to get used to that using both control sticks, because I don't typically play games, especially RPGs. So having to execute the mana, for example, and holding this stick this way and then having to rotate the other one or whatever just took some getting used to. And so I think actually John picked it up faster than I did when we were playing, and I had him get through the tutorials for me. And then as I kept playing the game, it started to make more sense to get the dial to the right frequency and all that stuff. So for me, having not played that many video games, it was a little tiny bit difficult. Like I said, I picked it up pretty quickly. Otherwise, everything else, I liked learning about how you fight in RPGs, because I've never had that type of battle before, where you have to make sure you're strategic in what you're picking and what kind of moves. And like you said, drinking the coffee, so you had the extra turns. So those are the kind of things that it took me a few battles to pick up. But all in all, it was a good experience.
Yeah. And I agree with you on all of those points. It's funny because, I actually did have some trouble with the mana and the tutorials initially too. And I'm going to go backwards and say that was actually one of my negatives, is not the learning how to utilize the mana, but that every time you messed up, the character that was teaching you how to use it would say the same exact thing over again.
Tell me, John heard Dragon shout like 50 times before I went to bed one night, because I just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I wish they had a different loop every couple times at least, because
like, dude, I know I don't know how to do it, but it's just like, can I just start it again without you having to say it all over again?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, can I just throw my controller? Like, he says it the whole thing again.
Oh my God, I feel your frustration now. It's all coming back to me now. I remember going to bed thinking, oh my God, can I just figure out how to do this stupid dragon shout crap? Okay, so
yeah. So yeah, that's about covers the difficulty level. Easy to play, free to play, fun. It gets frustrating when you don't know the mana right away, because they just keep repeating and doing the same sequence. But other than that, it's easy. And it's also good because if you play like first person shooters, in a way, like there's two different ways to look. Like you toggle one stick and you're going this way, and then you toggle the other stick and you're going this way, and that can get really confusing for people who aren't used to it. But South Park doesn't have that. It's just straight up, down, flags, teleport, done.
Yeah. It's good for us that don't necessarily know how to do that stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about some of our favorite aspects of this game.
Sure thing.
I thought that they added a couple things. They sprinkled it with really good ideas, like collecting Chimpokemons.
Did you get them all?
No, I did not get them all. And I was frustrated because I felt that if I miss an area that I can't go back to, I'm pretty certain I missed the Chimpokemon. But that's a reason to go back and play all over again.
Yeah.
If you choose to.
Yeah, I agree.
But I liked that, and I liked that you could earn summoning spells. Like you can get Jesus to summon. I mean, look at him right there. You can get Mr. Lee to help you if you beat like the Genghis Khan character. It's ridiculous. Mr. Hanky if you collect his kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really clever.
Did you get Mr. Slave is what I want to know.
I think you did. I did not
That's funny because you got everybody else. I didn't know there were other summons. And then we were talking and I was like, did you see Mr. Slave summons? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
You guys, you know what I'm talking about if you see Mr. Slave summons. Oh my.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what he does?
Go ahead.
He basically sucks up the kid in his butthole.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Sounds like Mr. Slave.
Yeah, so maybe there's a reason why you didn't pick up that certain one. It's kind of disturbing.
So what are some of your favorites?
I did want to talk about unlocking the buddies. I like that. I liked it, because even though it's a single player game, you still kind of want to try to play alongside somebody, even if it's you playing both characters. So I really liked the fact that you can unlock your friends and then choose throughout the game who you want to walk around with. I thought that was pretty cool. Also, I enjoyed the various areas of South Park. I love how well they captured just the whole town. I love just walking around from the beginning, walking into people's houses, seeing all kinds of crazy, bizarre shit, seeing all of each of the main characters' homes and interacting with their parents and whomever. And then going into one of my favorite areas, which is the girls' secret base, where it's always sunshine and sparkles. I love that episode so much. I actually, after we played this part of the game, I actually went and showed John that episode because that's one of my favorite episodes.
That's so funny.
Yes. So they captured everything so well. Everything from, we were just looking at this picture and I asked Kaori, is that Zac Efron in the back corner? And she's like, yeah. And they just, down to the details. They've got everything right in this game, and I loved it.
I gotta ask you, who did you pick? Whose side did you pick when it came down to Cartman versus Kyle?
You know, that was a question I wanted to know from you too. I think, well, of course, I picked Cartman.
You did?
Yes, hell yeah. Okay. Who did you pick?
I actually went with Kyle. I did.
So see, we didn't know that before shooting this. So I wonder how different the gameplay was, because in my mind, I thought it didn't matter whoever you picked.
I don't think it matters, but I think the difficulty might, I felt like, okay, look, if I'm gonna go up against Cartman, I'm gonna have to face Cartman or Butters, right? If I have to go up against Kyle, I'm gonna have to face either Jimmy or Stan, and Stan had a really badass sword. Like his battling, his attack was really large, so I was kind of scared of that.
Yeah.
And Butters had that hammer was pretty strong too.
Butters was my main guy.
It's Butters.
Yeah.
I would rather just go up against Butters. So
who did you? Okay, so we know that right after, I think immediately after, they go into like the battle at the school, right? So that's pretty much probably the same story that we're following at that point.
Yeah, and at the end you have to. I had to beat Cartman, and then
so reverse then.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's probably not that much of a difference, but I can see why your strategy would be to go the other way.
Yeah, because I was scared of Stan.
I just love Cartman so much. There's no way I would side against him.
But see, it's funny because I love Cartman so much, but he was calling me a douchebag from the beginning. He's treating me like shit.
Hell yeah.
So I'm thinking, I want to kick this fat ass's ass right now.
was last question before we move on, but was Stan your main buddy that you were fighting with, or who was it?
You can choose between Stan and I think Jimmy. So
did you have a favorite?
I liked Stan the most because he was so powerful, and his HP level was really high. So he can definitely take some blows. Whereas if you had Jimmy, he can die really easily.
Gosh, Jimmy, he was awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Butters is not. He has a strong attack with the hammer, but he doesn't have other strong. I think Stan was the best all around. I didn't use Kyle or Cartman too much, to be honest with you. I just kept overlooking them. Yeah. Like, I forgot that they were in my party towards the end,
Right.
But I liked Stan.
I like Butters.
Oh, and Kenny too. And like, let's talk about like they each had like their special attack too.
Yes. I like Butters because of his special attack.
Yeah.
Because of Professor Chaos.
Oh yeah.
It was just hilarious. Every time you would summon Professor Chaos, it's just like, show me your power, and then you'd pick whatever power comes out from Professor Chaos. I love that one. Kenny's, to me, although I liked all of them, were very hard for me to execute.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Especially the one that took up the most power.
Is that the one with the rats?
Whatever.
The rats?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to do it. I'm sorry, but
you just take your controller on one hand and the other hand go like this.
That's it.
That's what I did. It's so easy like this, so you don't have to even use your finger.
Okay, wasn't that bad then?
Yeah, we gotta go play. We gotta play together at the same time and see what happens.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so boss battles.
Yes, let's talk about the best boss battles because I loved all of them. I love everything about this game, as you can tell, but there were some pretty difficult ones for me. And one of them was that giant Nazi zombie fetus.
Oh my gosh, you mentioned that one. That's hard.
And I just, for the life of me, couldn't figure it out. And then I think it was John, because he and I were playing this together, that said, why don't you try to hit that umbilical cord before you kill the actual big zombie part of it? And I'm like, oh, duh, of course, the thing that's feeding its power. So once we figured that out, then yeah, it was an easy kill. But that for me was really difficult. For that particular part.
I agree. That was a hard part for me. I also didn't figure out the umbilical cord right away. Then when you realize, wait, this guy keeps getting healed by his fucking umbilical cord. I gotta get rid of that. I had problems with Al Gore. I think he was the hardest. I think he was even harder than the big boss Kenny battle.
I just realized you're
whoever made David Hasselhoff his head is genius. I want to play the game with David Hasselhoff.
No, that's hilarious. Is that really a part of the game?
I think you can get a mod and do it that way.
All right, I gotta go back and play this game.
It's so funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Al Gore, actually haven't went back and beat him yet because I tried to battle him when I was early on in the game and I just didn't have the power or the ability, whatever. I didn't have it.
I mean, I think the secret, because I lost a lot to Al Gore, and then I realized, wait, I could just, when my character's low, switch out the buddy and keep switching them out,
That's smart.
And yeah, Al Gore's was really tough, but you had to kill him if you want to get rid of those friend messages, because he starts bombarding you with those random messages.
You didn't like him saying, hey, how are you, man bear pig? Hey, how's your day going? My day's pretty good. Kaori, text me back, please.
All right, let's go to the next flag and kill this guy. What did you think of the anal probe aliens?
Oh gosh,
I thought that was pretty hard for me.
They were hard.
Yeah.
I think I had to, again, intuition finally kicked in, and I was like, oh, there are ways you can kind of weaken these people before you even battle them. Once I picked that up, and I think it got a lot easier for me. Did
you go underneath to fight the bum? Because if you fight the bum, he gives you like this fucking... he gives you this aluminum foil hat because it's a bum, and it actually like helps you with the attack and increases protection from aliens.
Oh my god, that sounds awesome.
So it took me forever. I'm like, there's gotta be a way to this, because I only had one potion left to heal myself, and I said, I'm gonna need more than this, and I couldn't find any because obviously you're on a spaceship. But then I saw a bomb, and the bomb hooks you up with this fucking phenomenal aluminum foil helmet that saved the day. It's so funny.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't notice the bum at all. I mean, I do know I walked out of the whole alien bit with this awesome anal probe.
Yeah, that thing was great
device too. That was really powerful, actually.
It was really powerful. Yeah, the bum was actually the first guy that I encountered that spoke in German, and he was like a zombie bum, like whatever.
I think I do remember him now. Maybe I just didn't bother to go down there and actually fight him.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna run out of this shit right now.
Yeah, so that, and then let's talk about some of the groups, because that was funny too. We had the goths that you had to overcome. Right before you have to choose between having the goth side with Cartman or Kyle.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so fitting for the way the characters are in the game, that they wouldn't talk to you unless you became a nonconformist.
Yeah. It's so funny how much they make fun of these real life situations.
Yes.
And then you've got some like nonconformists playing the game like
And I actually kept most of that nonconformist stuff on.
You did?
Like, I think towards the end of the game, my character actually looked really goth. Like,
really?
I liked the hair, I liked the kind of shadow or whatever, and I left most of it on.
That's so funny, because mine was super Genghis Khan.
Yeah, we completely we got to take some screenshots when we have a chance of what our characters ended up looking like at the end.
We should start it with both of us having the same identical character and seeing how each of ours transforms.
I'm pretty sure they're to our taste. I would say that much is true. Yeah.
How about you? Some more groups?
The girls.
Yeah.
And like I said, I liked going into the girls' lair, but I liked also just encountering all of the girls, even though we didn't actually get to play any of them. It was cool to see Wendy, to see what's the other girl's name? I can't remember. Starts with a B. Anyways, to see all of those girls in their secret base,
which ends up being the bathroom, which is hilarious.
I know. Yeah, that's right. And I like how every time you had to go down there, you had to get blindfolded.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want you to know where they were.
So ridiculous.
Cute. Very
Did
cute.
you ever talk to someone in the park that's like, oh, let's play hide and seek, and then you had to go find like 8 kids?
Oh yeah, all the little ones. Yeah.
I didn't find the kids. I was like, I can't do this right now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I think I actually did finish that.
Oh, cool.
I just can't remember what you got at the end. but-
Huh. Maybe
It was-
eight friends. I'm guessing at least some friends.
Oh yes, of course. You
Yeah.
gained all of them as friends. So
Oh,
that's
see,
cool.
that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about all the homeless people you saw throughout the game?
Well, like my alien probe homeless
Yes,
guy.
the guy who hooked you up, the guy who hooks you up with the nonconformist stuff.
Yeah, that guy. And then when you go underneath the sewers, and there's all these homeless zombies.
Yeah.
They have some powerful weapons, like the drunken bottles. It's so bad. It's so funny.
I mean, one of the quests is you got to go around the town and just fight like 8 bums, right?
Really?
Like,
Oh, I didn't have
Yeah.
that quest. That's so funny.
yeah. So bad.
And another one is gingers.
Oh my gosh.
I
love them.
could not believe they did this, where you had to kick a ginger's ass. And they were all hall monitors.
This game is so funny, but it's one
It's
of those
so
like you
funny.
kind of like have to giggle sometimes. Like, am I supposed to be laughing at
Yeah,
this?
right?
But yes, the ginger part, yes.
I thought it was hilarious
Funny.
how they grossed you out.
Yes.
You know, yeah. If you get grossed out, you can't drink your drink or eat your potions and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it hinders you in a battle.
Yeah.
and it's funny that gingers have that effect on you.
I know. I just have to shake my head.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to all y'all redheads out there.
so funny. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different groups, but
Mm-hmm.
the dwarves as well, like the little ones that make you small. Eventually, you have to. Oh my gosh, watching your parents have sex
Oh
during
my
the
God.
boss battle too.
Oh my gosh. They're like above you as you're fighting that little underwear troll, right?
Yeah.
Oh my, yes. How about walking through Mr. Slave's butthole?
You know what? I didn't. Oh yeah, at the end, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
seeing
so
like the cell
weird.
phone up there and
Dildos and oh my gosh. And he was like, "Oh, it's so funny."
walking into some of the homes and seeing some of those things that are happening inside the houses. You kind of just, for a split second, you have to think, did I just see that?
Yeah.
And then you start laughing like crazy.
And then you're just like, after a while, you're like just numb to it. Like, okay, well, this is just his anal. It's fine. No
know.
big deal.
Yeah, yes, I'm fighting with this giant dildo, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
So random. Okay, let's talk about some leveling ups, because what did you think of the system of how we leveled up? You know, you start off where you get to choose between a fighter, a mage, a thief, and a Jew. Who did you choose? A Jew.
I was tempted. I almost chose the Jew, but I chose a thief.
Okay.
What about you?
I ended up choosing the mage.
Okay.
It was a toss up because usually when I play games where you get to choose the class, I like the thief because it's sneaky, but then I like the mage because I love magic. But I opted for the mage because Carmen's a mage and I want to be like Carmen until I realized he called me douchebag right after that. So
And you couldn't change your name.
Yeah.
Did you get any abilities or anything that was linked to picking that particular character?
You know, that's a good question. Because I want to ask you that, like, if you have any like special perks because you chose thief. I think that certain weapons worked more for my advantage.
Yes, same here. Certain weapons and certain armor. And I think my moves, obviously, my special moves are probably very different than what you had. Because I could mug them and do some other things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had wizard moves.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that's awesome. How was the mugging ability then?
Very good. It was just one really hard hit and you could steal whatever was on that character at the time.
Oh,
So oftentimes it was useless stuff, but at times where you needed it, it could be like a power potion or something.
Oh.
So those are pretty good.
oh, cool.
Yeah. What about you? Was there anything that you used in
Well,
particular?
yeah, they basically had 4 different. The mage ends up having like 4 main things, like fire, ice, lightning, and something else I forget. And I use the fire one a lot because once someone catches fire, they're continuously on fire.
Oh yeah, see, that's good too.
Yeah, and then like lightning, like the anal guy and the anal guy, the fetus,
Yeah.
is very sensitive to lightning because he's water, he's soaked. So that's why I kind of like the mage helps you out throughout. So I think
Yeah.
that you can have a slight edge if you have mages, and we're going to talk about this, but you can power up also your special abilities. Yeah, so what's the next picture?
Let's see. All the friends.
Yeah, so this is important because...
Well, as you get the friends, I believe it unlocks a lot of perks, right? You're able to add some points to the different abilities that you have. And I don't remember what it's called now. But you could power up different areas of your powers.
Check it there.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, so here. Yeah.
Oh, see, like how your abilities, I mean, not yours, but his abilities are different from mine. Yeah. I was a mage. Who is that yours? Fighter?
I don't think so. That was the one we didn't play.
I think that's a fighter.
Yeah, it looks like it. So again, you could once you add more friends, you could apply those upgrades to any of these categories that are under your particular character. So I thought that was really cool.
I did too.
But the funny thing is, and I told you this, how embarrassing, I didn't realize you could do that until like I was towards the day 3.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm wondering why it's so hard to beat all of these people.
I'm like, how did you make it through?
I don't know, actually. But at least we figured it out before I went into some of the final battles, because I don't know how I would have beat Kenny.
Yeah.
Jeez. Let's see. The next thing, also upgrading your different weapons and stuff.
Yeah, upgrading your weapons, and then you can use little gears that help your weapons get even stronger and have special additions to your weapon / armor. That was kind of cool. But you know what's so funny is the weapons and the armor, they're always just ridiculous.
Yes.
Just so ridiculous.
Yes.
Like,
did you have any favorites in terms of what you liked wearing and what you liked fighting with?
I really like the Genghis Khan outfit.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I really liked that outfit. Eventually, like, I always just opted for the one that had the higher level, even though sometimes the one with the lower level had different perks that I preferred, but I just felt safer that way.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch on, but like, I didn't do this, but you can actually color things. Like there's dye, and I didn't use it at all.
I think I only used it on gloves because I don't care, but for whatever reason, the gloves I was wearing were brown and I wanted them to be black.
Oh.
So that's the only time I used it. But I think I ended up with my character having the vest, that SWAT vest, and then the teddy bear hat. Because for whatever reason, the combination I had was the highest armor count you could have for the particular character, this armor number that's on the bottom there. So that's what I ended up with. It didn't match. It wasn't particularly flattering, but it also wasn't that girl outfit that they give you. I refused to wear that one.
Really? I loved that one. When I had to be a girl, I'm like, I'm going to be a girl for as long as I can.
Wow. It was just disturbing to me.
I was wondering, and now I forgot what I was going to ask you. Never mind. If I remember, I'll ask you.
So I did end up, my favorite weapon though was one that I bought in 8-Bit Canada, which was the hockey stick. It was beautiful for me. It was just so powerful for my character.
I did not feel the need to exchange money in Canada, so I didn't get anything there.
I thought it was so cool. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, we're in Canada.
That's so funny.
Let me buy all the weapons.
See, like now listening to you, I'm just like, I need to go back and play it a different way. I need to be a fighter or a thief this time. Probably a thief. Yeah. You should try mage. You'll think, oh, this is easy.
I think I will, but how come... Are we not picking Jew because they don't actually let you pick Jew, or have you read anybody who has picked that character? I haven't
really looked at it, but I'm just curious what their ability would be. Like pickpocket, save money. I don't know.
I have a feeling I don't know why, but I have a feeling if you try to pick it, they won't let you, or they'll make you change at some point.
Really?
I don't know. That's just me guessing. So you guys tell us if you pick that particular.
And I wonder also if like the story would change in terms of Cartman being like, well, you gotta go to Kyle's team.
Yeah, because he says right in the beginning, oh, if you pick that one, I guess we're not going to be friends.
Yeah. So
there you go. It's right from the beginning.
Interesting. Let's talk a little bit about the graphics and the controls, because graphic wise, we kind of touched upon it. It's just like the cartoon. It immerses you into the game. And control wise, did you think it was easy to use?
Yes. Like I said, once I got the hang of it, it was pretty standard from the rest of the way. And you're not moving like
Yeah.
all over the place. It's very directional. Either you're going this way or that way or vertical or whatever. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, it was pretty simple.
What about on the PS4?
PS3?
PS3.
PS3. Yeah, it was very it was just like the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like you said, walking in, you'd be like, "Oh, she's playing. I mean, she's watching the game. I mean, she's watching South Park. No, she's playing the game." My favorite though, I wanted to bring up was the boss battle with Kenny, where he suddenly this whole entire time he's Princess Kenny. You're like, why are they subjecting him to being a girl? And then they have this whole montage of Japanese-esque anime, and he's got these anime eyes, and you have to fight him. It is just so funny.
I thought of you when I saw that. I was like, I wonder what she's thinking watching this little cutscene here.
It's funny because my dad was there when I was playing, and he's like, what? Because, Japanese, it triggers, like, what the heck?
Yeah. But I remember seeing, I always have to say it this way, Princess Kenny. I just remember seeing Princess Kenny in the Black Friday trilogy. So it's like, then to see this whole video and this whole epic build up to before you even fight Princess Kenny, pretty cool.
That's great.
I was almost identical with the cutscene from the game and the cutscene in the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wasn't too surprised to see that, but I was surprised that I don't know why, but I was surprised that he ended up being the last person you fight.
You were, yeah. I was too, because you really felt, well, I guess because he's quiet, that he was on your side, or he was like, oh, I'll do whatever.
Yeah. I'm like,
fine.
oh, I should have known. But then I kind of half-heartedly wanted Clyde to end up being the last fight because Clyde is one of my favorite characters in the show. And it made complete sense for me that he was the boss.
Yeah, he was the
one that turned. Yeah, exactly. But Princess Kenny, that was pretty good too. Did you have any trouble fighting Princess Kenny though?
I don't even remember. Was it fighting?
Yeah,
I said finding, and I'm like,
fighting.
I thought he was just there with a daisy or something. Fighting him, no. I again use my tactic of having one attack while you, the main person, attacks, and then the other person cures you from time to time, and then switching off. And especially the mage, like very, very powerful. You hit the fire, and then they're on fire the whole time.
You probably picked the better route, because I remember I had to level everything I had on me up. So I had to buy as many potions and everything. I sold everything else I had.
Yeah, I did that too.
Maxed out everything.
Yeah.
And then I went into the battle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the first 2 times I fought him, I think I lost.
Really?
2 times.
Oh.
And you have to beat him 3 times to finally win the game. So it was like annoying, but I got it.
How did you feel when the credits started running and you're like, oh, well, that's the end of the game?
I was kind of sad.
Yeah, right? It was like,
honest.
aw. Yeah.
Like, I know, like, that it was a lot of gameplay for me, considering I don't play that much. But at the end, I was like, oh, that's the end of the story. But then really, it's not.
It's not.
There's a little bit after that.
Yeah. Hopefully, it'll get you into playing other games.
Yeah.
Too. I know you're interested in other games. I'm trying to get you into Wolf, and you're like, yeah.
Especially with if there's a game you guys can recommend that has the same fighting, that type of fighting, I actually really enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
So whatever games you guys think I should be playing that have similar fighting style, let me know.
Final Fantasy 6.
That's what I've heard. It's kind of basically right up the alley.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Cool.
In terms of turn-based. So overall ratings, Anne, from 1 to 5 stars, what would you give it?
5.
Nice. That's nice.
Only because, like I said, this is one of the only games I've ever started and finished, and within a short amount of time.
Yeah, you finished it real quick.
And that I actually every day wanted to go home and play. And John was right next to me playing it with me. So it was just a really, really good game. It hooked me from the beginning to the end. What about you?
I would also say 5.
Nice.
Because for me right now, it's probably my favorite game of the year.
Oh.
That's a huge thing, but it just has it all, the humor, the pleasure, the creativity, the gameplay. Excellent.
Yeah,
so.
Completely agree.
I, as well as Anne, highly recommend that you go play this game. And if you have played it, leave us some comments. Let us know how your gameplay went. Who did you choose? The mage, the thief, the Jew? What happens if you're the Jew?
Yes.
Are there any twists to it? What were your favorite parts? What parts you weren't so happy with? How many stars you would give this game? So let us know, and let us know what games you want us to cover as well.
Yeah. Happy to play more. I just, you just need to tell me what to play.
Yeah.
And I'll play it on Xbox and you'll play it on PS3. So
until we get the upgrade.
Best of both worlds right now.
Yeah. So in the meantime, guys, you can follow both of us right here.
Oh, yeah.
At Team Amasian. And you can follow Anne or me right here. You can follow me at KAORIOUS.
And you can follow me at Kaori Take. No,
that too.
And Campea.
And Campea. There we go. Yeah, you can follow her at Anne Campea. And in the meantime, guys, we'll catch you for the finale of Arrow and other things. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Check us out right on this channel.
Yeah. So happy gaming, and we will see you guys later. Bye.